So I am live on, let's see, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube looks a little uh, choppy right now, but I wanted to ask. So I'm going to jump right into this. I see two people. So I wanted to say hello really quickly and get into this. What I'm working on is I'm just working on some ideas. So I wanted to run them by you guys and see what you think. And what I've got right now is ask. And so I'm working on acronyms. And the reason I've come to this is as a parent, as a father, just trying to keep my daughters, thinking things that they can, use, tools that they can use for themselves to kind of better themselves in life and use as coping skills. So one that I come up with regards to my oldest daughter years ago was try when she was going through some areas of life where it was like we all go through it where there's uncertainty, and so we don't know what we're going to try, what works for us, what won't work for us, and so try at that point. I said, is that the real you? TRY, and with try, it was just something to give her the thought, is this really me? When somebody's asking you to do something that you inherently know isn't right or doesn't feel right, is that really the real you? And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it might be, because try doesn't always have to mean the real you says no to everything. It's knowing what's going to benefit your life. And we're all going to make mistakes, but how about trying to minimize the damage? Don't do the same damage that your parents did, or make the same mistakes an older brother, uncle, or aunt did, or anything along like those lines. So try can mean the real you means, the real you isn't trying drugs or alcohol, forced relations when it comes to somebody putting pressure on you. But the real you can also say, yeah, I do like trying spicy things. I do want to try bungee jumping. I do want to take that trip somewhere. So the real you can be either way. TRY, the real you. So I'm working on acronyms, basically, is what it comes down to. I see a few people. So hello as you come in. Let me try to wave at people when you guys come in. But today we're talking about ask. And ask, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to try to be, I don't want to be too boring, but I also don't want to just skim over it. So ask, by definition, as in to interrogate, to put a question or questions to, question, quiz, examine, poll. These are all things that would go along with asking. You also have ask as in to request, to make a request of, which is also invite, solicit, pray, implore. So you have different areas of ask, but where I'm breaking that down. So the A in ask, always, consistently, continually, without fail, ever, all of those things. So at all times, invariably. And I kind of like that this would speak to an ongoing pursuit of goals or your lifestyle. When practiced with positive production, this mode of thought can and action can serve well. So we want to always. The S is seek. So we're seeking, pursue, hunt, quest, search are words that would go along with that. To go in search of, look for, to try to discover. And I think that seek it's a good place to have the inquisitive mind. That's also a healthy one. If you're seeking something, you're looking for something. So I think that that's a good place to be. We should look to entertain and satisfy our curiosities. And that's a place of wonderment that I think is really liberating and necessary as an alternative to our daily train of thought. So right now we have always seek. So we've got A, S, and K simply as knowledge. So always seek knowledge. If you're asking, you're always seeking knowledge, which kind of goes along with that. I'm talking to three cameras, so pardon me if I'm not always addressing directly. Knowledge, the wisdom, awareness, learning, science, information, or expertise. as in literacy, the understanding and information gained from being educated, as in science, and that's a body of facts learned by study or experience. And it's something, knowledge is something to be gained and passed on in many forms, in actual fact-finding forms, or one or a variation adopted and taught through culture. There's different ways to get knowledge, but again, if we're always seeking this knowledge, now we can find a balance between book learning and street smarts. We always hear the two when it comes to that, and we can get it through multiple sources. It doesn't have to just be through college or through, a guru. It can be through multiple sources. So you want to find these different areas in which you will get this knowledge that you should always be seeking. So always seek knowledge can roughly translate to continually try to discover awareness. And I find that to be a daily goal and a lifetime mantra, to always ask, where are we asking, what are we asking, and are we prepared for those answers? I find that we do. I think if your brain has come up with the need to ask for something, it's like your stomach rumbling. It's saying, I need food, I need something in this system. So your brain, if there's a rumbling which is asking a question, to me that would say that you are capable of seeking that knowledge and also processing it as well. And so your information will turn into knowledge, and in time that potentially turns into wisdom and something that you can teach to somebody else. I lost somebody. Hey, Eric, how you doing? I don't know how to wave to you over on this one, but so what are your thoughts on something like this? I'm not sure who I still have in the chats and everything. I see people, but I know I waved at people, but I got one live, couple here, couple there. So when it comes to asking, are there things that you do ask that you would say you're always seeking knowledge? What are your subjects aside from work? Because I think in work we always have to be on some level always seeking a knowledge so we stay competent in our jobs. But are there things in life that we just ask of ourselves? Do we ask of ourselves? Should we always be seeking knowledge about ourselves? I find that to be very valuable. What's up, Sherry? I find that to be very valuable, that we should always be seeking knowledge when it comes to self first. When it comes to self, we should know ourselves better than anybody else. And I think sometimes there's a disconnect. We don't always have that ability to say, I know myself inside and out. You know yourself better than everyone else, but sometimes do we truly know ourselves? Sometimes do we, have those pieces that we still have unaddressed, that we really get to know ourselves, whether we're going through therapy, whether we're going through any sort of changes in life. Those are things that we should be looking at ourselves and saying, I'm seeking knowledge about myself in this. We don't always have to be seeking an external knowledge. Sometimes it's more important to be an internal knowledge. That way we know ourselves better. And when we know ourselves better, then we are better spouses, better parents, better coworkers, just better people. And that doesn't always, again, it doesn't have to mean for people outside of us. We can just be a better person for ourselves. But I dare say once that change starts on the inside, once we ask of ourselves and we start to ask not just knowledge, but ask yourself to do better, ask yourself to eat better, ask yourself to sleep better. What are we doing to improve ourselves by always seeking knowledge? Once you ask yourself to eat better, that knowledge says, well, I know if I eat better, I'm going to feel better. My health is going to improve. My energy is going to go up. My weight may go down. My numbers, as far as my blood work, my doctor is going to be happier to see those things. So there's a knowledge that you can always seek. Now you just tweak what is it that's going to work. Somebody's going to be lactose intolerant, so you have to switch to certain things. Sometimes you're going to find that not eating meat is going to work for you for periods of time or maybe permanently. A lot of those things are going to change how you go about your life. But again, this is always seeking knowledge. Sleep. I don't get a whole lot of sleep, but I do find that when I do get better sleep, I'm more productive. I have more energy. Like it's kind of a no brainer, but a lot of the times we aren't working at our full capacity because we've got lives. If you're parents, if you've got a second job, if you're a student, whatever reason that might be. So always seeking that knowledge says that, okay, on certain days I can sleep a little bit more and I'm going to benefit from that. So what is that benefit? Depends what it is. Do you have more time to put in at work? Hopefully not. You're enjoying your personal lives, but there's just a lot of things that you can benefit from that. It also goes with the knowledge of eating better. So you can couple these things together as well. What are we always seeking as far as knowledge about ourselves, about the things around us as well? So I can seek knowledge in a variety of places. And like I said before, if you have the ideology that there's book smarts and street smarts, then what you have is the ability to learn from different sources. So there's going to be sources or resources that you're going to say, you know what, I find that to be way more interesting to say, I want to be able to find out about certain parts of life through that channel. It might resonate more with you when you're seeking that knowledge. So book learning, you can always pick up a book, and just like the beginnings of this. So when I go back, part of this breakdown is to say, I want to put a real definition to it. So when it came to ask as into interrogate, to put questions or questions to, then I kind of put in my own feeling of what ask can also be, or at least the breakdown. So always seek knowledge. Then there was the definition of each one of those, and hopefully that all ties in. So then we have the translation at the end. So always seek knowledge turned into at the end, basically to say, continually, which is always try to seek and discover awareness, and then the awareness is being knowledge. So you have a lot of different ways of breaking this down, but what are we asking ourselves? Do we have specific questions that we ask of ourselves, or should we be looking at externals more? I again subscribe to, asking of yourself first. And then I think that opens up a lot of things that you might be more comfortable in asking or learning when you are seeking knowledge with the external. And maybe it's a balance. So sometimes, just depending on where we are as our own journey, our own experiences, then you can kind of build up where you want to put those pieces in place. Everything's going to be different for each person because we're all kind of just our own culmination of experiences in life. So I don't know. You guys have anything for me? I wasn't going to stay on here long. I just kind of wanted to run this by. Didn't have a whole lot, but it was Saturday night, and hopefully I didn't catch people too late. But I wanted to be able to run this by, see if there's any feedback. You don't have to feedback right now, but if you want to put something in the chat, that would be awesome. Hitting the likes, even the dislikes, I won't be mad at you. But if you guys don't know, for especially like on YouTube, but likes and dislikes, those are engagements with your channels and streams and things like that. And for those of us doing that, it is important. So hitting the like, dislike would be great. If you haven't followed on, let's see, is this Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube? If you haven't followed, subscribed, like, whatever it is, feel free. Feel free, jump on, click the like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, especially on YouTube. We're trying to grow the channel, and you'll see a lot more content over there that isn't always going to be on Facebook or Instagram. A lot of the stories are going to be the same, the shorts, the reels, all that stuff. But the longer ones, the BAJ philosophy, the questions, comments, concerns, a lot of that stuff isn't on the other ones on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'd love to have you on all platforms, but if I had to suggest one, you're probably going to get the most out of the YouTube. I know not everybody's on YouTube, so stick in where you're at. I'm just grateful to be connected with everyone and be able to have this sort of interaction. So I'm gonna cut it at that. Eric and Sherry, I appreciate you guys watching. Tina, Martha, and I think there was one other person jumped in. Let's see. I think that's about it. So it was a small crowd. It was a small room. It was an intimate affair. Nothing wrong with that. Jonna, is that you? I think I see Jonna Parker. Um, but I'm going to cut it short because we're just about 15 minutes and I don't want to take up your Saturday nights. Do you guys got anything going on? Let me know. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, you know how we sign off? Yes, it is, Jada. I love you. If I think I have this set on rewind, so I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If not, you can ring me, guys. Okay, we're gonna sign out. I'm gonna leave it at that, and feel free to leave emojis. See, how are you feeling right now? Are you heart smiles? You know, angry faces? What's going on? What do we got going on? I don't know who that is that just popped up, but I would love to see it in the chat as well. So there we go. Hearts. I like hearts. I like to see hearts. Guys, I keep saying it, but I'm going to log out now. And you know how we do it. So hopefully this finds everybody in a place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. And we'll see you soon. Peace, love, unity, solidarity. Now, do I know how to end all of these is the question. There's one. There's one. Nope, that's not it. There it is. And there's one.